as scientific instructor at the age of 13, our youngest ever Nexus presenter. Welcome, Max Laughlin.
I invented the EHG, or Energy Horizon Gatherer, and it's an energy initiative to collect cosmic energy.
In 2016, a young boy named Max Laughlin began to attract attention across the internet for making startlingly complex and intriguing statements about the nature of reality, consciousness, time, and alternate dimensions. What made this so astonishing wasn't just the content of what he was saying. It was the fact that Max was only 13 years old at the time. Seemingly out of nowhere, a teenager had entered the public eye, speaking with clarity and confidence about concepts most people only encounter in the furthest reaches of theoretical physics or metaphysical philosophy. The story of Max Laughlin isn't just one of youthful brilliance. It's a strange blend of genius, mystery, speculation, and the viral hunger for deeper truths in an increasingly surreal world. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. Max was first introduced to the broader public through a series of interviews and YouTube videos, in which he discussed topics like the Mandela effect, CERN's Large Hadron Collider, alternate timelines, the simulation theory, and human consciousness. His ability to articulate intricate scientific and metaphysical ideas captivated audiences and triggered a wave of viral curiosity. People weren't just impressed by his intellect, they were fascinated by his ideas. He spoke about how the world as we know it may have changed in 2012 when CERN allegedly destroyed our universe and created a new one. According to Max, this shift might be responsible for the Mandela effect, a phenomenon in which large groups of people remember events or facts differently from how they supposedly occurred. In Max's framework, the Mandela effect wasn't just a psychological quirk or a collective false memory. It was evidence that our universe had been tampered with. This bold assertion stood out. While many dismissed it as fanciful or the result of adolescent imagination, others saw something more, a child who had tapped into something far deeper than we were prepared to accept. His delivery was confident, not rehearsed. He spoke with the cadence of someone who truly believed in the reality he described, a reality that was radically different from the one most of us assume is fixed and stable. What truly captured people's attention was Max's apparent understanding of high-level physics. He discussed energy fields, multidimensional theory, and the mechanics of the universe as if he were decades deep into academic research. Some reports claimed he had designed a free energy device at the age of 13, technology that, if real, would defy conventional limitations and usher in a new era of unlimited energy. While these claims were difficult to verify, they added to the mystique. The narrative of a boy genius with insight into forbidden science resonated strongly with a world increasingly skeptical of mainstream institutions and hungry for revolutionary truths. Max's discussions often returned to CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, and its experiments with the Large Hadron Collider, LHC. In his telling, the LHC was not just a tool for discovering particles, but a mechanism capable of disrupting space-time itself. He suggested that the infamous 2012 experiments had, perhaps inadvertently, shifted us into a parallel universe. This idea plays well with the cultural undercurrents that see technology as both miraculous and dangerously misunderstood. In a time when scientific advancement often feels like magic, and when very few people truly understand what goes on at the edges of particle physics, Max's version of events offered a darkly thrilling alternative to the official story. The idea that CERN destroyed our universe and shifted us into a new one is, of course, not scientifically accepted. But what Max did was articulate a suspicion shared by many, that something feels off, that things once taken as certainties seem increasingly unstable. Max's story gained momentum because it gave a voice to an unspoken unease. It wasn't just about the Mandela effect or alternate timelines, it was about the feeling that reality, somehow, had become less trustworthy. Beyond physics and fringe theories, Max also delved into the nature of consciousness. He talked about how we create reality through observation and attention, borrowing concepts from quantum mechanics where particles behave differently when observed. He claimed that consciousness is fundamental, that it's not just a product of the brain but something woven into the fabric of the universe. This view aligns with ideas from quantum mysticism and certain interpretations of Eastern philosophy, which posit that the observer plays a key role in shaping reality. For a 13-year-old to discuss such things was either a remarkable case of precociousness or something altogether more enigmatic. The internet's response to Max Laughlin was mixed. Some heralded him as a modern-day Tesla, a prophet of sorts who had broken through the boundaries of accepted thought. Others were more skeptical, suggesting that Max had been fed these ideas or was simply regurgitating fringe theories found online. There were even those who questioned whether Max was real at all, whether he was an actor or an invention of viral storytelling. These debates only amplified the mystery. Who was Max Laughlin, really? Was he a prodigy or a puppet, a visionary or a vessel? One of the most compelling aspects of Max's story is that it resists neat categorization. Unlike traditional child prodigies who follow a measurable trajectory of academic achievement, Max didn't attend elite institutions or publish in peer-reviewed journals. He didn't win awards from scientific societies. Instead, his knowledge and insight seemed to emerge spontaneously, as if channeled rather than taught. This lends his story an almost mythic quality, as though he appeared at a critical moment in time to deliver a message we weren't ready to receive. As Max matured, his public presence waned. The videos became fewer, the updates scarcer. Some speculated that he had been silenced, bought off, or co-opted by shadowy forces. Others believed he had simply grown out of the spotlight, retreating to pursue knowledge away from public scrutiny. The absence of clear answers only deepened the intrigue. In the age of instant information, mystery is rare, and Max became a kind of living riddle. His fans often point to the parallels between Max's narrative and broader cultural themes. In a world increasingly driven by artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and quantum computing, questions about the nature of existence are more than philosophical. They're urgent. When algorithms can predict behavior, when simulations can mimic consciousness, and when data itself feels more real than the physical world, Max's warnings about the malleability of reality don't seem so far-fetched. His theories resonate not because they are proven, but because they feel emotionally and intuitively relevant. They speak to the suspicion that something fundamental has changed, and that we are only beginning to grasp the scale of it. Another element that adds to the story's magnetism is Max's seeming sincerity. Unlike many viral personalities, he wasn't trying to sell anything. There were no books, courses, or paid subscriptions. He appeared driven by genuine curiosity and a desire to share what he believed to be true. This authenticity made him relatable, even when his ideas were far out. He spoke with the excitement of someone who had seen behind the curtain and couldn't unsee what he had found. Critics of Max Laughlin are quick to point out that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The scientific method demands rigor, repeatability, and falsifiability, qualities that many of Max's assertions lack. But to view his story purely through the lens of traditional science is to miss the broader point. Max is not a physicist in the conventional sense. He is a storyteller, a theorist, a provocateur of thought. His role is not to confirm, but to question, not to solve, but to stir the waters. In that sense, he shares more with philosophers and poets than with engineers and lab technicians. There's a certain poetic symmetry in how Max's story mirrors the very concepts he discusses. Just as he suggests we may be living in a simulation or a fractured timeline, his own public image flickers in and out of view. He exists in a kind of informational limbo. Part boy, part myth, part meme. His ideas, like quantum particles, refuse to settle into fixed positions. They change depending on who's observing. That ambiguity is not a flaw. It's part of the appeal. The story of Max Laughlin is also a reflection of the time in which it emerged. We live in an era saturated with information but starved for meaning. Science and technology have given us incredible tools, yet many feel more disconnected than ever. Institutions are mistrusted, truths are debated, and consensus seems harder to reach with each passing year. Into this fog of uncertainty steps a child who speaks with the clarity of someone who sees the world differently. Whether you believe him or not, Max becomes a symbol, a stand-in for the parts of us that still wonder, still question, still hope there's more to reality than meets the eye. The questions Max raised remain unresolved. Did CERN alter our universe? Are we living in a parallel timeline? Is consciousness the key to shaping reality? These are not just scientific queries, they are existential ones. They touch on who we are, what we're doing here, and what it means to be human in an age when the boundaries of reality are increasingly up for grabs. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us? What are your thoughts on Max Laughlin? Do you think his theories are true? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.